This is a report highlighting the global pattern of human trafficking, human smuggling, and the sex trade, which is now observed to have a perfect match in Mumbai as well. We have been repeatedly warned against not reporting the cases, however, our intentions are to highlight the criminal patterns and the modus operandi for vulnerable victims and government authorities. Our criminological analysis is based on various investigative media reports, which are already published by news companies, while we are merely connecting the dots to highlight the criminal pattern. The report is based on Royal Palms Hotel in Aarey, Mumbai, which has permissions for running a hotel under Tourism Development Zone but violates all regulations to operate as full-time film shooting studios, and behind the curtain runs a high-profile sex racket due to its perfect geographical location. The recent victims were more than 500 girls from Jammu and Kashmir who not only witnessed their terrifying experience but also gave us indirect circumstantial evidence of the ongoing crimes happening in the middle of a metropolitan city like Mumbai. Thankfully, they all were safe and returned to their respective homes, but subject experts have drawn a comparative study between the Middle East and Mumbai's sex trade and human trafficking. Let's first hear from Ms. Rita Chavan, who is the founder and subject expert from the Anti-Human Trafficking and Anti-Narcotics Research Center of the Middle East.
After analyzing the case of the Royal Palms Hotel, it appears that patterns commonly seen in the Middle East have started in Mumbai as well. The hotel has converted into a full-time film shooting venue where women are brought under the guise of film roles or dancing opportunities only to be exploited in sex trade operations. These illegal activities often serve as front for human trafficking, facilitated by the lack of security and legal oversight in hotels now functioning as film studios. My investigations, which involve speaking with victims of terror, sex slavery, human trafficking, and human smuggling of Syria, Russia, and other countries in refugee camps in Lebanon, have revealed the significant role played by the hotel industry. Accommodation and negotiations frequently occur at these venues, since everyone are assuming it's a shooting that is taking place in the hotel. The police have arrested operators from film industry at this hotel, but the conspirators, who were caught red-handed by over 500 female students, are yet to face legal actions. If our observations regarding criminal patterns are accurate, Mumbai urgently requires attention to address these issues by first cancelling the hotel license and film shooting at these venues.
You may be questioning the credibility of such activities occurring in a busy metro city like Mumbai. So let's delve into specific reports for you to decide the possibilities of global sex trade patterns. The hotels in Royal Palms are very close to the International Mumbai Airport in an understandably secluded forest area, having 1.5 kilometers of broken roads from both its entry points. The hotel buildings are perpetually shut down for the general public and is used mainly for film shooting studios. Under the guise of film shootings, a lot of actors and dancers gain access to the hotel without any authorities doubting their intentions, but yet a high-profile sex racketing was eventually caught. Those hotel booking websites which provide rooms for guests without security checks are another way of tapping into the sex trade marketing. Whereas as per international trends, only such types of hotels are observed to be the best location for human trafficking, human smuggling, and sex trade. Various sources under the condition of keeping their names anonymous have also confirmed that various celebrities, politicians, and businessmen have been blackmailed after these videos were recorded, due to which to date no action has been taken against the hotel and others linked to the sex mafia. All circumstantial and physical evidence confirms that hotels in Royal Palms have entered into the nexus of global sex and human trade network with or without the information of many stakeholders or owners. We are sure that you are still not convinced, so let's talk about the research done by the investigating journalists of various news companies that have already been reported. According to an investigative report by the Times of India newspaper, approximately 500 girls directly witnessed and reported an incident at the hotels in Royal Palms. Crimeophobia team verified from various sources from Maharashtra and Jammu and Kashmir authorities, but under anonymity. They all confirmed of no FIR or case has been registered so far. According to the girls, the rooms were stinky, the bedsheet had stains and made the students extremely uncomfortable. The girls had come under the government-sponsored tour, which was organized by Indian Railways, having contractors under various tenders. As reported in the article, the students conducted their research and found online reviews about the hotel. They were alarmed when they came across news of a high-profile sex racket being busted at Royal Palms. Their legal guardian for the tour mentioned to the reporter of the Times Group that the dinner was to be served for 800, but the table arrangement was only for 100, leading to chaos. When dinner was being served, the lights went off for 20 to 25 minutes, he added. Initially, the students thought it was a power failure, but they later discovered the lights had been intentionally switched off to remove a few guests who may have been involved in shady activities. An argument ensued with the staff and an employee began recording the video of the girls, which was objectionable. In return, the students snatched the mobile to erase their recordings and in the process found nude photos that added to their anxiety. The girls also requested for mattresses as everyone opted to sleep in the corridor, but they were turned down. They further said that they had an alarming experience and none of them could sleep the whole night. The Crimeophobia team tried to verify the news from locals and they claimed the news to be fake. However, upon confirmation from the same journalist of the Times of India group who reported the story, it was confirmed that the Indian Railways did take some unknown action against the contractors who booked the hotel with links to sex trading. On the contrary, when the online reviews were verified by the Crimeophobia team, a major high-profile sex racket raid was observed in which an Indian cinema actress was caught red-handed by the Mumbai police. The criminal case which these Jammu and Kashmir girls might be referring to is to be believed of actor Suman Kumari, as reported by the Indian Express newspaper. The sex racketing dealer was arrested for allegedly pushing girls into prostitution, charging over Rs 50,000 orchestrating a sex racket in the city. Mumbai police had arrested the female actor during a raid on a Goregaon hotel following a tip-off. Reports suggest that the police deployed a dummy customer to engage with Suman, who purportedly charged Rs 50,000 to Rs 80,000 for one girl. The dummy customer requested 3 girls to be sent to the same Royal Palms hotel, which appears to be the same hotel where the 800 girls from Jammu and Kashmir endured a profoundly distressing experience. It is extremely unfortunate for the Crimeophobia team to be judgmental at this point. However, the analysis of criminologist Snehil Thal stated that the girls from Jammu and Kashmir were extremely alert, maybe because of their instincts being developed from their childhood, as they hail from one of the most dangerous terror-hit states. Their natural senses might have got activated for considering every hotel staff as a terrorist to make sure no one gets kidnapped, raped, molested or snatched when the hotel staff had shut the lights off. Nevertheless, the girls didn't deserve the treatment of being put under a hostile position, as they had come to enjoy in Mumbai, not to bring their guards up for their own security. We all feel extremely sorry for what they faced and respect their strength and bravery during the horrific night. As per the media reports of the Times Group, it remains unconfirmed about which hotel within the Royal Palms complex hosted the girls, whether it was the Palm Hotel or the Imperial Palace Hotel, although all the hotels are shut and used only for film shooting studio purposes. Earlier reports based on witness accounts suggested these hotels within the Royal Palms also intentionally initiated fires as a means to convert them into full-time film shooting studios. Here is what a few other local complaints had to say about the hotels during the film shooting studios.
रॉयल पाम्स होटल के इधर है ना, एक बार आग जला तो हम लोग सोचा मैं सब ऐसे गलती हो गया तो जल गया ऐसा। थोड़ी दिन के बाद में ना उधर एक फ्लोर बन गया, ठीक है, उनका थोड़ा कुछ रहेगा करके होटल का कुछ काम रहेगा करके सोचा। फिर बाद में उधर शूटिंग चालू हो गया। फिर ऐसे 1-2 साल के बाद नीचे उसको पाम्स होटल के नीचे उधर भी आग लगे। मतलब इन लोगों ने प्लान किया मैडम, झाड़ भीड़ काटेगा तो गवर्नमेंट का प्रॉब्लम होएगा, केस होएगा करके इन लोगों को प्लान करके ये जंगल जला के तो 1 साल के बाद उधर अनलीगल का फ्लोर बांध के इन लोग पुलिस को छोड़ दिया।
The criminal links of the global film industry with the sex trade has always been a standard pattern, which is one of the biggest marketplace of human trafficking activities as well. The evidence has been in front of the authorities for the longest time, and now there has been 800 unfortunate girls who become witnesses to what has been happening inside these hotels. To our surprise, these hotels have furthermore history beyond the film industry and sex trading activities. The hotel villas in Royal Palms that were initially meant for hotel use were later sold to individual families as residential villas. Unfortunately, the mafia also purchased these villas under residential but later converted into hotel villas and film studios because residential properties were cheaper than commercial properties if bought for the purpose of hotel and film studios or other activities. It has now become unclear as to what the land is being actually used for, since the mafia is using it as film shooting studios, hotels and other commercial activities instead of residential, and behind the curtains we hear high profile sex trading activities. Upon verification with the Royal Palm authorities, the Crimeophobia team also received confirmation that one of their hotels is under major default of more than rupees 20 crores for only property tax. The Royal Palms company has been trying to sell all their hotel properties since very long, and it seems that the sex trade mafia or human traffickers have indirectly bought their premise, which is funding their maintenance and operational debts. The Crimeophobia team circled back to a position and also found that an organized crime case was scheduled to have been registered against Royal Palm owners when a few structures in their hotel vicinity experienced a landslide, resulting in the death of 6 labor workers. As per the investigative news report of Mumbai Mirror, the hotel owners are also accused of not returning approximately 18 acres of land to the Mumbai collector due to political favoritism. The collector's orders was overruled by the then Revenue Minister Balasaheb Thorat and Dairy Development Minister Madhukar Chavan, both from Congress, using their quasi-judicial powers despite Royal Palms having lost all claims for the land at various levels until 2006. The Mumbai Mirror newspaper also reported that while the then collector V.L. Gawai gave them the plot in November 1999, this decision was set aside by the then Additional Divisional Commissioner R.B. Kulkarni in 2000. Kulkarni's decision was upheld by the then Revenue Minister Shivaji Rao Patil in Langekar in July 2003. Later, the Bombay High Court in 2006 also set aside Gawai's order. The information was received by them through a right to information application in which the then Dairy Department officials confirmed the details. Unfortunately, the story doesn't end here. As per the DNA newspaper's investigative reports, the local municipal council had also decided to initiate a probe into all constructions carried out by the developer on the entire 240-acre green space from 1983 to date, but this effort was stalled. The then Minister of State for the Home Department, Siddharam Maitre, agreed to a demand made by the NCP leader Vasandav Aarey in the Legislative Council on April 17 to invoke the stringent state laws of organized crime, referred to as the Maharashtra Control of Organized Crime Act. The land on which these hotels currently stand are given permission agreement of 240 acres property, in which 130 acres of land are meant for tourism under tourism development zone and the rest 110 acres are under NDZ or no development zone. It is alleged that the official purpose of these land strips worth rupees 2 crores in 1983 was tagged as Amer Amusement and IT Park, which later renamed as Royal Palms India Private Limited. Currently, the entire 240 acres are merely a package of multiple mafias and a land scam is nearing its shape. The involvement of various mafias and underworld in Royal Palms were also established during a dispute between Royal Palms and Mr. Bharat Shah's land dispute, in which Shah stated to Mumbai Mirror that he was getting threatening calls from the buyer to stay off the land or face consequences. The diamond merchant and Bollywood producer at the time had approached Malabar Hill Police Station as Royal Palms wasn't allowing him to access his 23 acres of land. Although the case is subjected to facts since Bharat Shah himself has faced legal actions for using underworld don Dawood Ibrahim's money in a Salman Khan starrer movie. The unfortunate incident with Jammu and Kashmir girls have opened a box of worms and public outrage. Now, it falls upon the listeners to decide whether the hotel owners are merely victims of the circumstances or accomplices in the criminal activities. Let us hear a few reactions from the general public.
I would be shocked where a big hotel, like it should be a huge hotel where already 800 people, students are already there inside, and it would be a huge hotel. So such a big hotel in getting involved in a sex racket is very shocking.
I don't understand how it went on with such a big scandal not being exposed to the present media, which is so very on toes to shoot every possible angle of everything which is happening in this world. At the same time, as a mother, if you're asking me, it is quite scary. I genuinely feel bad for those girls to have such a nightmare, you could say, which will last with them forever in their life. I just don't understand how the government is not doing anything about it. And I also want to know how those people, I mean the hoteliers, are managing the budget of filling everybody's mouth with money. Yeah, how can they, means how much of scam is involved in this country, and I'm really shocked about the media not getting involved.
जैसे मुंबई हम सेफेस्ट सिटी मानते हैं, अगर उसमें ऐसे हो रहा है तो ये बहुत गलत हो रहा है. ऐसा होना नहीं चाहिए, क्योंकि एक महाराष्ट्र है, यहाँ पे एक लोग मानते, एक औरत की हम इज्जत करते हैं, रिस्पेक्ट करते, वहाँ पे बाहर की लड़कियाँ आके उनके साथ ऐसा हो रहा है तो टोटली महाराष्ट्र का नाम खराब हो रहा है. एक बाप बोल के एक बाप का नाम खराब हो रहा है. यहाँ पे बहुत लोग हैं, सबका नाम खराब हो रहा है।
वर्ल्ड इट्स अ हार्श वर्ल्ड, मैंस वर्ल्ड बोलते हैं वो है। कुछ ना कुछ तो करना चाहिए, इसके लिए एक्शंस तो लेना चाहिए, लॉ लाना चाहिए। ऐसा कुछ भी होगा गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से कुछ भी होगा तो उसके लिए एक लॉ आना चाहिए स्ट्रिक्टली, कुछ भी हो स्ट्रिक्ट, जैसे कोई भी कानून लॉ और स्ट्रिक्ट लॉ।
But first of all, maybe I would like to confirm if the story is really true, because in a place like Mumbai, it's very hard to believe, or I would like to rather believe that it won't happen in Mumbai.
We respect the dignity of all those girls and shall maintain victim protection, but also hope that girls of every state are trained for handling situations which have links to terrorist activities despite having any experience in the domain. India is signatory to the United Nations Transnational Organized Crime, in which only 3 crimes are considered to have interlinking terrorist activities, which are human trafficking of women and children, money laundering and arms and ammunition, smuggling, and we feel our listeners must have understood the interlink activities referred in this report. The girls from Jammu and Kashmir were lucky, but should the government leave such situations into such lucks? Meanwhile, the hotel authorities conducted political events at their premises, having the Member of Parliament and owners of this hotel to discuss the issues of the access road and other concerns. But why were such events not held for the girls in the same hotel? Numerous case reports suggest that a sex racket disguising itself as actors and dancers for film shoots is operating in Royal Palms. This is directly connected to sex trafficking, a form of human trafficking. The film industry has long-standing ties with various mafias and the underworld involved in funding films and money laundering for decades. The absence of government permits for film shooting indicates the mafia's involvement, mirroring past practices. The issues of money laundering, sex trafficking, and human trafficking are connected to transnational organized crime. We strongly urge the government to take legal action based on these concerning findings. This is Rashi Shetty signing off as investigative psychologist.